All right. So, starting pattern, we're gonna figure out what's going on and stuff like that. But this is without method. I'm Trez.
My name is Headdy.
All right. I'm probably gonna go by Trez sometimes because saying my whole name sometimes can be. I'm gonna just say Trez.
Like you still gonna go by Trez?
Yeah, Trez is smoother. Everyone's gonna say Trez anyway. So yeah. Eventually the comments gonna say Trez. They're gonna be saying Trez.
Until you get famous, you like Trez.
Yeah, and I was like, hey man. Separate it, Trez. Don't forget it. It's kind of like episodes. They don't forget the dash.
Right.
So stuff like
All
that.
caps when you say the name.
Mm-hmm. You gotta do that. But today is Monday, Memorial Day. Luckily, you was off. I had to work though, but it's all good.
Yeah, man.
Good. As hot as I can ever think of. Like Jesus Christ.
I had a hell of a weekend though. I did have a hell of a weekend.
Yeah, I think you told me that you had a lot going on. What's been going on?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I want to say rest in peace to my grandfather. He passed away. He had cancer for a couple months. He had pancreatic cancer, and so just want to say rest in peace to him. Went back home. It's been crazy, so I had to take my ass right back up to Greensboro.
Yeah.
And so that's what's been going on. That's why I texted you. I was like, a lot's been going on, so that's what's been going on.
So mostly family stuff.
Yeah.
It's sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. It's time to get personal on the first episode. So yeah.
Look, that's okay, man. You gotta talk about it,
Right.
because one of those things that as a man, sometimes we just kind of take it, keep on striding. But if you don't have that conversation about it, it's gonna creep up some weird way, shape, or form.
Right.
So that's gonna happen regardless. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But like you said, trying to keep your head high.
Right.
Like that's the best thing.
Right.
You stay strong for others.
Right.
And then later on, you can kind of get a little weak for yourself. With certain people that can take care of you, stuff like that.
Yeah, I can go back to the apartment and cry in the dark or something.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do that. Talk to someone. I know for me, I talk about it with certain people that's close to me.
Really?
So, yeah.
Who do you talk to?
Yeah, well, mostly talk to my girlfriend Taylor. But I think I told you before, it's been kind of interesting because, first episode getting personal. But I think I told you before. I don't think I even told you, but we tried couples counseling, stuff like that.
Oh, really?
So it really opened my eyes in terms of being vocal, as a man, especially a black man, because sometimes we be vocal, but not vocal about ourselves.
Right.
But man, going to couples counseling, man, it taught me just sometimes just talking things through. Even if it's not coming to a solution or it's not something set in stone, it helps.
How long was the couples counseling?
Shoot, I think we did it for about 2 months. About 3-4 months.
Really?
I don't know. It feels shorter, but we did it every Friday.
Me and my girl did that freshman year.
Oh, you did?
Because we was some other stuff going on, and we only lasted 2 weekends, 2 weeks. Because we was John on the psychiatrist that was there.
Yeah.
The whole time. That's how we rebonded, because she had some crusty, ashy feet. And so the first time I saw her, and I didn't say nothing, because this is a very serious matter. I'm not going.
But why she kept her feet out though?
I don't know. She had sandals on. It was May, and so I guess she didn't get a pedicure in April. So that second week, my girl was like, "Yo, did you see those feet?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." And then we the next time we went, we just kept looking at them, and it was like, "Yeah, we can't come back in here no more." Yeah, we just gonna pick on you about your feet. So.
Dang, that's tough. I thought we was gonna be like that at first, cause we first started. It wasn't cause anything bad was brewing. We just felt like we got to a point. It was 2 years, so it was let's see what we can improve, especially communication wise, or just see what was going on.
Right.
And at first, I thought it was gonna be a situation like you mentioned that we won't go the counselor, cause my girlfriend at first she likes connecting with people, and there were moments we be talking to our counselor. She kind of felt kind of robotic. What you expect, a head nod here, kind of, analyze what you're saying and respond type there. But it wasn't nothing personal on top of that.
Right.
So, she was like, I don't know, this chick kind of a robot. I don't think she's going to get down with that. But I was like, well, that's cool with me. I don't really expect her to be too personal. Don't be too personal when I'm telling you my stuff.
Right.
Because I don't want to tell her something personal. She tried to joke with me, But eventually, it got good. It did open my eyes when it said, I was telling one of my homies about it. It's one of the things, sometimes when you're in a relationship, I kind of word it as having this imaginary table of stuff.
Right.
And sometimes, let's say something happened or you had a feeling or something didn't go your way, and you kind of be like, nah, it's cool, I ain't gonna trip about it. Because sometimes as men, we just don't want to argue for nothing. Like, we ain't gonna argue over anything crazy. So when you say, nah, it's cool, I ain't gonna worry about it, it's like you just put something on that table.
Right.
You know, over time, you know, that table builds and builds to eventually you might be annoyed when you're not gonna snap or break, but you're gonna be like, man, why am I so annoyed? Because like your table's been getting heavy.
That's how. Okay, that's explains what. That's how I am too. Because it could be like a Wednesday, and I'm just like annoyed.
Yeah, like,
and I'm just like,
so upset.
Like, why am I so? Why don't want to be bothered right now? And that could be the case.
Yeah, and it helped me think it through because like I'm a chill guy, so like if something little or stupid happen, I ain't gonna trip. Like you know, I might throw it over the shoulder, or you know, you might just mentally eat the situation. You know, you ain't gonna worry about it no more. But some way, shape, or form, it does do something. And if I just keep putting something on that table, it's gonna be that one day, like you said, that random Wednesday I'm at work. Someone gonna be needy. I'm like, I'm tired of everyone needy. Like, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but inside I'm like, man, I'm just so done with the day.
Right.
And usually because that table grew.
That's true.
But I noticed through counseling, sometimes talking it out and getting stuff off that imaginary table, it made things a little bit easier. So I don't know, like that's oddly personal for first episode.
We done got real personal in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, but look,
are we using this? Are we using this personal stuff?
I ain't against it. I'm open, so everything is out here. But on a lighter note, my weekend was a lot different. I went to an anime convention.
I was a lot
Me and
better.
my girlfriend. Yeah, it was a lot different. It wasn't as heavy. I went to an anime convention called Animazement. It's in the Raleigh Convention Center. We usually try to go every year, but one thing it kind of puts on me like the importance of conventions,
right?
Because you know, just an anime convention, you know, anything, you know, anime, gaming, anything kind of nerd related is there. But it's such a beautiful thing to be, you know, to see, because like you see all these kinds of people, they all love anime in some way, shape, or form. You got the people that might be into sports but like anime. You got your typical I'm in the basement most of my life type people liking anime. You got your regular people that's, you know, putting their feet into the water. Like, I just love how that function is geared towards everything, you know, anime, gaming, nerd culture, but yet brings in so many different kinds of people.
I don't know. I never got into anime. I never got into it.
Not even like a Dragon Ball Z situation?
I'm a never Dragon Ball Z person. I watched this Pokemon anime.
It is.
It is.
I mean, it feels, it's different for me, but yeah, it's anime.
I mean, I watched a little bit. Yeah, I watched a little bit of that, but I never got into it. I don't know why. I never got into never got into video games, nothing like that.
Yeah, so it might be different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, respect to that, I was just talking about how it kind of brings everyone together. At a convention, it don't matter if like, you know, someone like me, I kind of watch stuff a little bit more casually now. Right. But when I'm there, I know whoever's there, they like some form of anime, so it's a good starting point to talk to someone.
Right.
I just like the fact that you're at a convention with like hundreds, maybe thousands of people all under the same umbrella of what we like.
Right.
I think that's dope. So I wonder like how that can be for like a hip hop convention. Or, you know, like even though hip hop is very diverse, just like anime, you still have that starting point.
That's interesting.
You know?
Well, like what would be like the attraction at hip hop?
Yeah, the hip hop convention?
Except a fight.
To be honest, I think just like fellowship amongst what you like.
Right.
You know, it might give people the space to kind of outwardly show their love for hip hop. I said that weird. But one thing for anime, because a lot of people love anime, but they don't necessarily outwardly show it.
Right.
But at the convention, you can dress up as characters, wear a shirt from an anime you like, or, you know, buy the merchandise for what you like. So if it's a hip-hop convention, it might be a way for people you might not even know is in hip-hop. Like, you know, you might have some middle-aged moms that, you know, get down with hip-hop. They might be at a convention buying shirts, buying merch at the booths. You never know.
Right.
So it might be like that fellowship factor.
I think that'd be dope, because I always say that hip-hop culture is just culture overall. Like, you like, if you walk around the street, like, you'll see hip-hop everywhere. Yeah. Like, you know, every channel you'll see some essence of hip hop in there. So having a convention, a hip hop convention, there might be one out there, I don't know, but that'd be like a dope concept.
Yeah.
To have, you know, you have like different genres, like, well, not genres, but different eras of hip hop there and stuff like that. You got the golden era, you got the southern hip hop, so trap and all that. So that'd be a dope concept to have.
Yeah, I think so. It would probably be hard to pull off though, because like it is broad. Because you said like that culture is deep everywhere.
Right.
Like even when people is not thinking that's a hip hop related thing, it still has some of
Right.
that influence on it. So it might be a different story. But I don't know. Just being in amazement kind of shows me how cool it is to be at a space with other people, and you know that connects you within
Right.
other people. So I can look at any person there and know that we have some type of common ground.
Right.
Because if you're just out in the world, you don't really know.
Right.
You know, you don't know what they like, you don't know what they're into. But at that convention, I could look at any person and be like, hey, let's talk about this.
Right.
You know, it might not be what they like, but they know what I was
Right.
talking about.
Did you this your first time going, or how many times?
No,
have you been?
this is I think this is my fourth time going.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my fourth time.
Have you ever like saw anyone that you wouldn't expect to be there, like walking around?
No, well, I was joking because sometimes, like, whenever it's like middle-aged people, you always assume like they're just bringing their kids or something like that. But every once in a while, you might see that guy that's like head to toe in like anime merch, and
Yeah.
it's funny because we saw this one guy like he looked like the complete uncle stereotype, and I was like, "Who's uncle over here?" You know, repping
Right,
anime,
right.
but you know, you'll be surprised. And I think that's what's cool about it. You see kids, you see older people, you see this type of demographic.
Right.
It's it's not one type of demographic I
Right.
didn't see.
Right. You know, like you walk in there and you see your boss in there in full costume.
I would be shocked, especially if my boss I'm surprised my boss watch TV.
Like dressed as a brony or something. Like, would you respect?
I ain't see no bronies.
You
though.
ain't no bronies?
That's the one thing I didn't see. I ain't see no bronies. I saw
So-
some chicks dressed up, you know, kind of like the My Little Pony characters, but I ain't
That's
see
creepy.
no bronies.
That's real creepy. Right
Yeah,
there.
but you see, I saw, you know, a lot of like, you know, you can tell they were just typical Joes, you know, dressing up like schoolgirls though, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
'cause-
What you say?
Yeah.
You say you saw grown men dressed up as schoolgirls?
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, it's 2019, I guess.
Yeah, well, they said, look, I like this type of chick. I want to dress like this chick. That's cool. Like it's
It was like a character, or was it just like
like
a,
a
schoolgirl?
character. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
certain ones was characters. Some might be characters I probably didn't know, but it was just all walks of life.
I mean, like if I saw my boss dressed up as a schoolgirl, there'll be no respect. I'm sorry. Like, you can't
No,
tell me
you-
nothing on Monday morning.
Yeah, it can't be like a club situation, because if you see someone at the club and they wilding out, and you see them outside the club, you might be like, you know what, and man, like this ain't happened.
Right,
You know,
right.
as a club, it's different. But if I see you at a whole convention, like there's no
Yeah.
privacy to that.
Yeah, if I see my boss in a pencil skirt, like in,
That's a
in
different
the,
story. Yeah, but like it just shows me all the different walks of life. Like, and I think it's really cool. And when it comes to the merch, the events, they have like gaming tournaments. They have all types of food. Bars be decorated anime style. Like it's like a whole type of, you know, little culture that
Right, right.
happens for a weekend.
Oh, that's real dope. Okay.
Yeah, so my weekend
Yeah.
was a lot more, you know, less heavy.
Right.
Yeah, but it was still pretty cool overall.
Right. So I know that we had. I mean, I know you had texted me about you wanted to talk about graduation.
Yeah, because this is May. Everyone graduating high school, college, elementary, all kinds of graduation. But usually when you talk about this time, you know, we celebrate, you know, we show love, you know, we support people.
Right.
And it's very, you know, the romance part of it looks beautiful, it looks great. But, you know, between you and me, we know after you graduate, maybe a week or 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month in,
Right.
you have that weird period.
Right.
Where, you know, everyone, it gets kind of weird, you know?
Right. And that weird period is for me. That weird period is that one question. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I feel like that kills a lot of people.
What are your next plans?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's 4 years of having plans.
Yeah,
What
good.
the hell do you want me to do?
It'd be hard because college is all about forming that next step. But then when you graduate, that step is there, and you still want to be in this mindset like, oh, yeah, I'm still figuring it out. But it's
Right.
like, you graduated, what you still figuring out?
Right.
And I don't know, I feel like it causes a lot of, you know, graduates during that time period. You have that weird stage, you know. A lot of times people go back home. A lot of times people hometown, I know for me, my hometown is nothing like the town of the college I went in. So I go to college, experience this somewhat city life, and I go back home to the country, and I'm like, man,
Right.
like, what is this?
Right.
Well, what I'm gonna get a job at? What I'm gonna do? Who I'm gonna talk to? and you get kind of awkward. Like it's some people might get depressed, but for me it was just more of like this emptiness of not knowing.
Right.
Because usually I'm used to things being laid out.
Right.
But ain't nothing laid out.
No, ain't nothing laid out. And it's, it's kind of weird because there's nothing when you're your last year, your fourth year, you don't have nothing. No one to tell you, okay, so let's sit down, let's talk about what you want to do.
Yeah.
You've been in a structured facility for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Well, I mean, for what? About 16 years.
And it's crazy. It's like your day was always structured. Your weekdays, you going to school, and your weekends, you figure out what you're gonna do. But then you graduate, and it's anything.
It's anything.
Yeah, you can work the graveyard shift if you want. You can work early mornings, midday.
Right.
All that option kind of make people kind of stiffen up a little bit.
Right.
I know for me, I kind of stiffen up because, like you were saying, like that structure is not there. So when I'm back home in the country with like no structure, I don't know where to start. And also is the element of like you be in school, like you go to college for like 4 years, 2 years, however many years for a certain degree. But then when you get out, you can't even get an immediate job in said degree unless you did a whole bunch of follow-up while you was in school.
Right.
So you be in that weird phase where you're trying to get a job, but the job you want, you're not qualified for.
Right.
But then the lower jobs you're trying to get 'cause you just need money, they gonna look at you like you overqualified. So what do you do?
Right. And then you just end up just taking something that you don't want to take. And by all means, we're not trying to be depressing because I'm pretty sure some people are like, well, why did I even graduate? Sorry, Taylor.
Yeah, she going through that phase right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, it's there.
Yeah, so it's, and for me, that's, I try to, I always try to be positive about things. I think we had talked about that, when, like a month after we had graduated, I was like, I'm just trying to read these books and I'm trying to stay positive and stuff like that. But that shit hard. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Like, you just in a situation where you don't know where to go and you're being told, all right, you need to make your own decisions.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, I ain't been making my own decisions for a while. So.
Yeah. And for me, I'm the type of person, I get stuck in my ways real quick. So if I have a certain flow or I'm doing a certain thing for a certain period of time, that becomes my thing.
Right.
So even, once I graduated, it took me like a month and a half to even find a job. So within that time of, sending out, applications, which you never hear anything back from,
right.
That'd be stressful. And then when you do get an interview, you might do that interview, you might get that job that you mentioned you don't really care about. But a lot of times they would do that job and get stuck in that job because,
right.
That was step one.
Right.
You don't really move on from step two.
Right. So. And that's how it was. And so for me, my situation was kind of different. I had a job right after graduating from college. I was interning, and so I was given a job. I was working in sales, and working in that for like a week. I was like, man, I hate this.
I couldn't do sales.
I hated it, but I had to do what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's one thing you learn. It is one thing you do learn. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm.
You can quit and run away and not work and and not have nothing on your plate, not have nothing to do, or you can just work it out and see what you can do and how you can make the situation better.
Yeah, so, that's very true.
Yeah, and so I did that for about a year and a half, really about 2 years, and so making it work. And then after that, I was like, all right, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to get out of there. So,
yeah, you figure out that stride.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part, getting to that stride. And the only thing that made me realize that was my girlfriend. She kind of let me see jobs a lot different. Like, Taylor taught me that, like, for me, I was thinking kind of like the baby boomer generation. Because, for them, you get out of high school, you get that job, that is your job.
Yeah.
For like 20, 30, 40, however many years.
Right.
That's it. But, generationally, things are different now. You can have a job in your early 20s, a different job in your late 20s. You could be in mid-30s and completely shift your whole career path. But for some reason, when I graduated, I still had this mindset, I got to get this job. That's going to be my job. So I ended up working at Embassy. And I just thought that, I didn't think like that was going to be it. But I wasn't really making moves as soon as I probably could have.
Right.
But, Taylor kind of told me, she was like, look, if you're in a job, they're not really giving you what you need or not what you want, it's not like you can't move on and find another job.
Right.
Because nowadays with experience and, ways of learning and training yourself, you can get another job, no problem.
Right.
Until you find that right thing for you. But for me, I was like, shoot, the right thing is the thing I got. So I was trying to force something I didn't have. But I feel like now I'm kind of figuring out that stride of, your job's got to kind of work in favor of what you want.
Right.
Versus, you finally landing something and you sticking to that.
Got you.
And I think that was a hard part for me. So I was in this weird phase where it's like I have these talents, I have these strengths, but I'm not using them. I'm just working, quote unquote, a 9 to 5, doing nothing, which is why that after graduation period kind of leads to, maybe depression or just like that feeling lost.
Right.
Like you don't know what to do. And I feel like for our generation hits us hard because while we're in school, we're kind of told, yeah, get this education so you can get this career and blah, blah, blah. But no one kind of tells you that career you're not going to jump in immediately after college. Some people do, some people don't.
Well, okay, so I agree with you with that part, but I do think it not only I feel like every generation has dealt with that, but I think what makes it worse for us is social media.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, being on Facebook, being on Twitter, and I had to get away from it a little bit, was I was comparing myself to other people. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, shoot, all right, they didn't graduate, they here. All right, why am I not here? Why am I in this area of my life? Why can I had way more hustling skills than them. Why am I, what is going on here? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was one thing too, and I had to kind of stir myself away from that. And then once I came to the realization that they may be at a place where you may want to be at, but mentally they may not be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
And somebody might be comparing themselves to me or something like that. Mm-hmm. They might be like, well, you here, why am I not here? Why am I not here? Why am I not there? And so I had to come to the realization that you got to be happy with what you got. Yeah. And work with it. But one point that you did say was about, sticking with a job and, you thinking that you're going to be there for 30, 40 years. And shoot, and I was talking with Tamani about that. I was like, my mom and, people older than me, they came to that realization too. It's like, this ain't forever. Yeah. My mom, she just turned 48. And she's just like, this ain't the forever thing. This ain't what I want to do forever. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, shoot, if she like that, she been working there for about 17 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I got to expect for me to be thinking, all right, what's next for me to do? I can't stay here for another 10, 15 years. So that's how I look at it and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with saying, all right, what's my next plans I have to get? After getting the job, I'm always like, all right, so what else? What else I'm going to do? So, yeah.
Yeah, and like the way things are going now, you can shift gears a lot because back then, if you left your job, it's kind of hard for you to get back into something. Right. But it's a lot different now. Even when it comes to like that self journey of exploring yourself, you can literally work in one job market, see how you like, have your takeaways, what you don't like, stuff like that. You can move into a totally different job market, have some takeaways from that until you finally find that realm that you're perfect in. Because one of the things, like, you might, there might be some people get out of college, they find that exact career that they wanted and stuff like that. But then, 10, 15 years later, they might have this feeling of, not necessarily like boredom, but this feeling of, kind of like a video game, what's that next level? What's that next step? So you won't, stagnate.
So talking about college, one thing I do want to talk about is I don't know if you heard about Robert Smith. Mm-mm. He paid the college loans for Morehouse College.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Do you know how much the loans were?
No.
$40 million.
What? $40 million?
$40 million.
Shoot, just give me $3K, I'm good.
So I wanted to talk about, and maybe, you might, we were talking about with Tamani and stuff like that. Has college became a scam?
Oh, man, that hot button.
Okay, not what I'm saying is a scam, but has it?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm okay. When I mean scam, so when I mean scam, I don't mean like, of course you need college. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an engineer. I mean, even, I feel like college has made my life better when it comes to them connections and stuff like that. Yeah. But I do think it could have been cheaper. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, do you think, like, $40 million, it was 389 students. 389 students.
That's not even a lot of students.
No, $40 million. I mean, first of all, congrats to him for paying those college loans.
Yeah, he a real one for that one.
But it does bring up the point that that's too much damn money.
Yeah, and don't even get me started at looking at other countries, because when we have this conversation, I'm not even thinking about other countries. Because when you think about other countries, it make you look at everything sideways.
Right.
Because there's some countries where, because you know, community college prices is like stuff they have over there for major universities. You
Right.
know? So I'm not even going to try to have that conversation, because that'll make me extra butthurt. But I will say, like, you know, I got a whole ass degree. But right now, I ain't doing nothing that, you know, in terms of that.
Right.
You know, I plan on changing that over time, of course.
Right.
But I do kind of agree with what you're saying. Like, for the price, like, if you're not being like a doctor, lawyer, engineer, like all those real deal, like you need to be certified type jobs to get. If, you know, you're trying to do anything else and you go to school, sometimes it's hard to see that worth.
Right.
But I always told people, like, most of the things I learned from college was more about, like, that self-journey and me learning myself, because there's no other place in your lifetime besides, like, early school where you be in an environment where you staying there and you're surrounded by people in your age group.
Right.
So for me, it was a learning experience. I learned the ways of being a man. I learned, you know, how to, you know, go about conflict, avoid conflict, solve conflicts. I've learned about, you know, how I work, you know, am I visual, you know,
Right.
do I like to, I learned about myself. Like, yes, you know, you learn about the courses you take, but for me, I feel like college is good just in the terms of, like, the quote-unquote social experiment, because there might not be no other moment where you enter an environment surrounded by people your age group. Because once you graduate, one of the sad truth is, if you go to the library now, because when you're in college, you go to the library, there's people all in your age range. They studying for this, they grinding for this, they chilling with their friends here.
Right.
You go to the library in adulthood, there's like older people, kids, you know, maybe some homeless people.
I was just about to say.
I mean, but it's the truth. Like, you know, not to knock it, because sometimes that's a good safe haven for them.
Right.
But the library experience is totally different.
Yeah.
Like, when I was in school, I could go to the library late at night and have a good session of just, like, you know, taking in knowledge, stuff like that. I wouldn't do that at a public library.
Man, I went to the library in Fayetteville because I was to the library in Fayetteville because it was like right down the street from my job. And like it'd be security guards in there. And like, so what you doing? I'm like, trying to read. Every time I reach for a book, they like, so what you doing with that book? I'm like, it's a library. Like,
And I'm definitely not shitting on public libraries, because public libraries are great. Like, whenever I go to one, like, that experience, like, just libraries in general is really dope. But what I'm trying to hone in on is the fact of the environment in the library.
Right.
Because you could go to the library, you can see, like, a group of students. You'd be like, hey, what you working on? They tell you what they working on. You know, you kind of lend a hand. They lend a hand. You can have that, you know, that moment. You won't really have that at a public library.
Right.
So sometimes the worth I got from college was mostly just being there and learning myself around a whole bunch of other people in my age range that's learned about themselves too.
Right. No, I agree with that. But again, it shouldn't cost that much.
Yeah, because sometimes the way internet is, like, sure, you might down the road you might be able to just get a little subscription. Might be, you know, $9.99 a month, and you learn about whatever degree you're trying to do.
Let me find out I could be a doctor by WikiHow.
You learn how to be an engineer by subscribing.
Right.
You subscribe to this service that be on your phone. You have it on your phone, tablet, laptop, whatever, and you can learn engineering courses. I wouldn't be surprised that'd be a thing. It might already be a thing.
Right.
So that might be a cheaper thing.
And that ECPI, you can be an engineer and stuff.
Oh yeah, true. That online stuff.
Yeah.
That online. I don't know, but yeah, that's why I don't know. It's one of the things.
ICDC, you know.
Yeah, it's like if you ain't using, you know, scholarships and banking up on like money you have to pay back, sometimes I get what you're saying. It can feel like a scam, low key, because it's to a point where a lot of people disagree with what I say. But sometimes college feel like a necessity in order to get like a good, well-paying job.
Right.
But the way the world is now, you can kind of finesse without it. It's more about the networking, the connections. You might get to the point where you need a certification, but you can kind of work away from there.
It depends on who you are.
Yeah, it depends on who you are. And because of that, I would just...
Don't say nothing who it is.
Yeah, that man, he's scratching himself. So, like, I would just flatline and say, for the foundation, you might need it, because everyone's not going to, you know, drop out of high school and out here make six figures.
Right.
That don't work for everyone.
Now,
you know, same as a lot of people ain't going to graduate college and actually use their degree.
Right. Now, I know a couple people. I talked to a couple people. They be trying to go for their masters and stuff like that. And they be like, well, I got out of high school and I went to a job and I worked my way up. And now I'm VP of such and such. And I'm like, oh, word. What's your name again? Bob. I got you. You named Bob. All right.
Yeah, Bob. It won't, Marcus, it won't Demetrius.
It won't Demetrius.
Frank, bet.
Yeah, it was Bob. It was Bob.
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah, it could happen. So that's
good old Jim pulled himself up by the bootstraps.
Yeah, if Demetrius trying to make it out here, he got to hit up that SoundCloud real quick. You know what I'm saying? Get the producers lined up.
They gonna get Demetrius a mop.
Yeah.
You gonna work yourself up all right.
Yeah, he gonna be mopping in his meantime. Then when he at home, he gotta whip out the SoundCloud account, make sure something happened. So it could be tough. So I get how it can feel like a scam, but I don't know if you're trying to do something wholesome, something that is legit that can line you up. You can fall back on something cushiony. Then college probably the thing. You probably just don't need to go no private school.
Right. That's the problem right there. Private school.
Private school.
Private school is about $50,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Compared to any normal public, you might spend like 10, 12, maybe 20 a year versus that 40, 50, 60,000 a year. I don't know. That college question, that's a hot button right there, man.
Yeah. Well, if it might be too personal, we can cut it out. If it's where you at student loans side? Like
student loans, I think I'm at like 28,000, something like that. Yeah, around like 28,000. But look, I'm gonna be dead ass with you. Ask me, have I been paying? Ask me, have I been paying?
Deferred.
I've been deferred like a mug, been deferred it. Man,
it's gonna be funny when you get about 30 and then remember the loans you got?
Look, I'm not going to defer no more. I'm deferred till September. Then I'm gonna get my life right. But right now, it's like, look, man, because I randomly called and see how much I had to pay. Because when I first set myself up, I think I was going to spend like $75, $80 a month. But I called the lady. She was like, oh, yeah, we got you the plan of $250. I'm like, $250? That's more than my car note. Nah, I deferred.
Nah, that's how. So when I graduated from undergrad, I was at 26. I remember I'm doing my master's now. You know where I'm at right now?
No, where you at?
45.
Ooh.
45.
That's including the 26, right?
No. That's including the 26.
I thought it was 45 on top of the 26.
No. That's including the 26. That's including the 26. So yeah.
Look, man, you might have to open up a SoundCloud account on the side.
I might have to open me a GoFundMe.
It might get it. Nah, I ain't no one gonna do no GoFundMe. I mean, you cool and all, but everyone else, they struggling too. They got loans. They ain't gonna support you.
That's the funny part. One of my homeboys, he graduated, and his mom put up a GoFundMe on Facebook. Somebody commented, "This week struggling too."
Ain't no one gonna do the GoFundMe. Look, I ain't trying to hold you, Devontae, but you could be like these people, make a little Patreon account.
Patreon? What's a Patreon?
You never heard of Patreon?
No, I never heard of that.
Oh my goodness. It's like any type of person on YouTube, you're artist. Shoot, even low-key chicks that just dress up in costumes low-key have Patreon. I was like, Patreon is like the pat on the back way of having like a premium Snapchat.
Oh, right. Believe Without Method will have a Patreon page or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And Patreon is real dope because what you can do is you can set up plans for your patrons, so they can spend like $1 a month and they'll just give $1 a month to the cause. So under that $1 they might get certain benefits. So if you spend $1 a month, you might be able to chat and talk about what you want for next episode.
Oh, okay.
But let's say you spend $10 a month, it might be something more set in stone where they might get like future episodes. Or let's say if you was like a cosplayer, you'll give them, extra pictures and stuff like that. Because there's a couple artists that I thought about supporting their Patreon. Right. And if you spend more money, you get like, sometimes like, for Photoshop and stuff, you might get a file so you can edit their file, stuff like that.
So like 100, it get freaky. Like.
Yeah, like 100 is like low key, like we get the dap hands, but like it's wholesome. It's wholesome. It's not like no premium Snapchat.
Oh, it's not the premium?
No, Patreon is the good way of going about it. Like if someone say hit up my Patreon, I'm checking. If someone say premium Snapchat, I'm looking at you. But the way things is with your debt, you might need a premium Snapchat.
I might need a premium Snapchat.
They might be hitting you
might
up,
have to mail
man.
out some stuff.
Cause there's somebody for everybody. Make that premium Snapchat.
Yeah, my milk. Never mind. Is this a clean podcast or is this what kind of podcast?
This is our podcast.
What kind of,
So that's the best answer.
without method, without filter. Is that what it is?
Yeah, look, it might also include premium Snapchat. So we get big, someone see the video, they be like, look,
Mail out some-
Trez, what's good? Premium Snapchat. I'm gonna say no.
Don't mail out no funky draws, man. Like,
Nah, I think only chicks can get away with that. Ain't no one trying to get old guy draws. Like they have a nigga, you know. I feel like a dude is always ready to do something like that.
Right.
You know, for a chick, you have to pay her money for her draws. But if you ask a dude, like, let me get your dirty draw, he be like, what? Alright, shit. Like, you know, you don't really got to pay a dude to do nothing weird like that.
The fruit of the looms.
You know, fruit of not.
I've been ready to get rid of these for the longest. I ain't need these.
Yeah,
no
like a
more
dude, you really got to pay a dude. You know, like I feel like a chick can look like a gremlin and still get some used draws at no price. You know, you'll find a guy.
Right.
Go to a Wendy's, go to a Burger King. You know, you'll find that guy.
You go in my hamper here.
Yeah, like someone might ask me, like, I don't know, like I asked my girl first and she said yeah, then yeah, if she tell me no, then nah, I ain't getting the draws.
Ask my girl.
Yeah, you know, I gotta go by the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't go under the table.
Right.
Yeah. So
What are since we talking about, what are some things that you like that you have to ask permission for?
and what way?
Like, do you ask permission? Do you ask permission for things?
For what?
I don't know. I don't know.
For me, I see it as it's one of those things. One, if I feel like I need to ask permission for it, it might not be the best thing.
Right.
But usually, I use my girl as kind of like Congress. So
Right.
like, for example, when I got my car, before I got my car, you know, I'm gonna talk to her about it. It's like,
Right.
what you think about this car? Do this make sense? So it's not necessarily asking for permission. I think sometimes, you know, women just like it if you include them in your plans. So you don't necessarily say, hey, baby, can I do this? But if you be like, I'm thinking of doing this, what do you think? She'll be
Right.
just as happy.
Right.
I think they want to be included. But there might be some type of relationships where, shoot, you got to ask for permission. But I think a lot of times...
We know some of the relationships.
Yeah, we know some of the relationships. But I think those, you just kind of messed up. You know, you want to include nobody. So instead of you including them, you got the shackles.
Right. Right.
So, you know,
I
now it's control.
I don't know. I guess because me and my girl, we been in two different cities and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah, it might be a different story. It's going to be hard if you ask for permission.
Yeah,
Because
last
if you
time
ask
she
for
texted me
permission,
back,
how you
I'm
going
I'm already doing it.
Yeah, how you going to prove it too? So you be like, yo, can I go to the bar? Like, how she know you just went to the bar?
Right. Right.
Yeah, you know, it's different. Like, it's different for y'all. But
Right.
yeah, for me, I don't think it's necessarily permission. It's more about just including somebody. 'Cause I feel like, from my standpoint, I like just be included. Because
Right.
it don't have to be a situation where, because permission sometimes put too much the element of power. Then with power come control.
Right.
And then it get kind of toxic. So
Right.
sometimes let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I get asked, can I go to this bar, Southside Chicago? I might be like, what? Have you heard about Southside Chicago?
First of all, it's a lot of traveling because we in Greensboro.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm like, why can't you just go in Greensboro? You know, like it starts a conversation. Within
Right.
that conversation, then it could be a yes or a no.
Right. Does that do you think that change after you get married?
That's a good question.
She's
Yeah, she over here shaking her head.
She's shaking her head.
But I think even with marriage, it should still be like that element that I mentioned. Like, I won't make no type of moves without bringing it forth between, you know, like if I'm trying to get some tattoos, I'll be like, hey, I'm trying to get these tattoos. What you think about these tattoos? I'm not going to just go out and get some tattoos.
I don't know, man. So that's why. I don't know. I guess that's why I ain't, like, when we always talk about marriage, I'm like, because like
You're still trying to find the independence.
I'm still trying to be independent.
But you can still have that in a
But see,
relationship.
like, yeah, my mom, she always tell me, she's like, you know, if you're gonna be like that, you might as well not get married.
Yeah. But also, I feel like a lot of people fear marriage because they feel like they're gonna lose themselves in a marriage. Marriage is mostly like, you know, a good business decision,
Right?
Because you bring in your assets and the other person's assets together to make something better. But then on top of that, I think it's more like, you know, you're having this life partner, like you're going through life with this person. So I mean, independence can still be there. Like if you feel trapped, then that's kind of a toxic relationship.
Do you think like government need to be involved to make sure y'all in a committed relationship?
See, I've been hearing a good perspective about marriage. There's this sexologist. Her name is Shan Booty. Her name's like Shan Boodram, but she just calls herself Shan Booty. Have you heard about Shan Booty?
Yeah, I never heard about Shampoo.
But yeah, she like a sexologist. She talk about sex, love, relationships, and she mentioned that like she got married recently, but she said it was all for she got married for other people. Not because she felt like in her relationship there was already a life partnership. They was going to be together. But she got married because she said sometimes on paper it's better for other people to see what your relationship is. Because like for example, if you have someone they've been together for 8 years but haven't been married. Once someone figure out that, they kind of look at you like, damn, it's been 8 years.
But does that matter though?
It might not matter to you, but it paints the picture of the relationship in an easier light. That was her kind of standpoint behind it. I'm not sure if I fully agree, but I do get it from a business standpoint. Because if if you're not married and you try to do certain loans, this and that, job opportunities, you still gonna sign your paper as single.
Right.
But once you marry, it's easier to split the assets.
Right.
But I think she'll talk about it from the social standpoint, so other people on the outside can understand what her relationship was like. But I'm not gonna really, explain her relationship for her because she explained a lot better. But she will kind of explain that she did get married. She got married for the sense of others, for them to be able to grasp what her relationship stands for. Because if they didn't get married, no one will understand what they stood for.
Right.
They'll just think, oh yeah, you with someone that can probably chop it off and walk away 4 years in.
Right.
But she's like, that's not the case. But let me get married so y'all can understand what I'm doing.
I get
That's a little extra though.
I get what you're saying. What you think? What do you think, Tamani, about?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. Definitely, it's a partnership. It's combining your assets, which is a wise thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the government having to make it official on paper, I kind of rebel against that.
That's how I am.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, why you need to be in my business, and why do I need to?
Yeah, because they are in everything else.
Just get a stamp on a piece of paper to show my love and my connection with this other person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, I will agree. I think it's just when I'm not saying I'm vouching for the government input, but I think it's one of those things you got to have some type of foundational so you know what it is. Because now most things, the typical process. You get the engagement ring. You get like, what if you the type of relationship that don't believe in engagement ring? Like, oh yeah, we don't got no engagement ring. How someone gonna really know what you are if they don't see the ring? So sometimes it's standard. It makes it standard so people can understand. But at the same time, it's your relationship what they need to understand.
Right. Like I said, just with me, I just been thinking about that. I'm like, all right, so what is the point of it? Like, if we've been together for a long time, you living with me. What is because after 12 years in North Carolina, it's common law.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of ladies listening to this, including the one in this room, that's going to hear what you're saying.
Oh, my girlfriend hear this.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of other ladies going to hear what you're saying and feel like you just using it as an excuse and not do nothing extra.
Oh, what is the extra? We living together. We living together.
Yeah, but one of the things, like for a heterosexual relationship, sometimes you got to do that extra step to make the woman happy. Because you could be dead happy, you could be good, you're not going to be with a chick for the rest of your life.
What about my happiness?
Let me tell you something.
I don't know.
I'll play with you.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
You about to drop
I was in your same shoes, the same mentality, the same mindset. I say the same thing you said. Man, I don't need to get married. We cool. We here 7 years.
Right.
Me and my
girl been together for 6 years.
I went out and made a purchase. I bought a keyboard. It's like $3,500 for a keyboard so I can make beats and stuff on it. This is one of the things, asking permission, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I didn't ask permission for. And I kind of felt I had to ask permission for it.
Yeah.
Because I kind of had it in the closet and so.
Yeah, you had to ask for permission.
Yeah, and one day she discovered it and she's like, "What is this and how much did it cost?" And it's like, I've been with you 7 years and you spend this much money, but you can't even buy me a ring. And I had to go through that, and 12 years later we still rocking.
Yeah.
That's what's
I don't
up.
wear the ring, but we married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I guess you gonna change.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that mentality's gonna change. But you spot on, man. You definitely gotta have that. that mindset of like, this is a partnership,
Mm-hmm.
and she's giving you, making you twice as much better than you could do alone.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
but they coming together.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you don't see for a woman, see a lot of times a woman can be with you. You're not making those extra steps. She know in her mind she probably gonna be with you the rest of her life.
Right.
But the thing is, she still wants you to do that extra thing to let her know, yeah, this is it.
Right.
Because sometimes, yeah, you can talk to your mind, all the good words, but it's not gonna make that same stand as what you're doing. And also, even though marriage is definitely something we created, just think about it from a biological standpoint. Even with all animals, that male has to do something out of the ordinary from the other males to make that female be like, I'll choose you.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you just with her taking care, like, that's cool. Because, some other cat would be quick to do that. No
Right.
problem, depending on the situation. So, sometimes you just got to do that thing to make her happy. You said,
Right.
what about my happiness? Cause at first, that happy wife, happy life thing, it kind of annoyed me because I felt like it wasn't balanced. But when I think about it, it's like, if she good, she going to make sure you good, too.
Right.
So, if she good and she don't make sure you good, she ain't the right one.
Right.
So sometimes you gotta take that extra step, because if you don't, like Tumani just said, something gonna happen. Like, she ain't even gonna hold it against you.
Right.
But you spend some big money, it's not on her, she gonna hold it against you.
Okay.
It might be easy. You probably had to bring that to the table by, I'm thinking of buying this right here, what you think.
Yeah,
and then, it kind of saves
I
you.
was in the jewelry store, so.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes, like, not necessarily permission, but, like, inviting that other person to the
Right,
table
right.
of the options. Because then if you bring it to them, they be like, nah, I don't really like it. You be like, what? What you mean? It's a conversation at that point. Because one thing I learned through counseling, conversation is important. Communication
Right.
is important.
Right.
Because sometimes, and a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I know how to communicate, I know how to talk, but there's different ways of saying something. Like, for example, if you with someone and they ain't kissing you right, you can't just be like, oh, man, you ain't kissing me right. Because then at first, like, well, I've been kissing you for so long, like, you kind of be like, oh, yeah, you kind of do the thing.
Right.
And then, I'm kind of doing the thing, but it's kind of like,
Right.
maybe we could do something different about that.
Right. Right.
And you hit the same goal, but you got about it different way.
Right.
That's what I learned through counseling, man. Communicating properly and getting the shit off that imaginary table, those two things was key to me.
Okay. Well,
Because before that, I was putting stuff on my table and just saying what was wrong. And that was getting me set up.
damn. Well, we had special guest Steve Harvey in here. We just a relationship, how to make your woman happy. Next book is coming out.
Oh, look, the first 5 minutes in, we got personal, so I figured it was going to go from there.
No, I just want my girlfriend to know that this was all jokes. I was just playing, so please don't hurt me. I do want to marry. You guys say, I was just playing.
I'm just playing. What you
we
mean?
putting on a show. You know what I'm saying?
We got to put on the show for the viewers to get them to laugh.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, plot twist, I'm a fuck boy. Just saying all this shit to be nice. Like, what you mean? I got like 2-3 slides on my phone. Like, what you mean? I'm just saying plot twist. But yeah, no, I'm just lying.
He not.
You look at me like you don't even believe me now. See, that's how deep it can go.
It's gonna be a conversation now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a conversation later.
Yeah. So you already talking about you gotta get married and
You gotta do all this.
Put that ring
stuff,
right
her to the table.
Right when you get in the car. So all that talk you was talking, what that's gonna be about?
Look, we're gonna have a conversation about it. Communicate properly.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think this was good so far.
Right.
Anything else we need to talk about, bring forward?
Shoot, I can't think of nothing else.
Let's just wrap.
Yeah.
48 minutes in.
Okay.
Oh, dang, that was a
that
lot
was-
longer than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
It was good though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. All right, we're gonna
Okay.
wrap it up. We're gonna figure out some type of good exit instead of
Right.
just being like, all right, peace out, y'all. See y'all next time.
Right.
We working it. We
Right.
working it through.
So
We'll
long.
figure it out.
Farewell
Shoot,
to you, my friend.
Yeah, we without method, so we
Right.
ain't gonna have a method until it works organically.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, then my name is Headdy.
This is Trez.
Peace.